Hi there and welcome. My name is Gideon Korir. I want us to talk about nutrition and diet. And to be very specific today, I want us to talk about the balanced diet. Let's get to know what the balanced diet is. Let's get to understand some of the important definitions or terms that usually come about or come across when you talk about the balanced diet. And from the this very first page, you look at the diagrams that we have here. They try to tell so much about the content that you are going to cover through this talk or this lecture. We have various diagrams that show the food. Look at this diagram here. Yeah, that is the first diagram trying to talk about eating well, the eat well plate. And we have the second diagram. You see this one here. Yeah, talks about the balanced diet, and you try to check clearly through that plate. You see different types of food that are in uh, plate. No, all these diagrams, this one and these three of them. Yeah, right from the first one, the second one here. Yeah, and the third one there. Yeah, they try to tell us something about balanced diet, or maybe rather what to expect through this talk. So welcome, and I hope we are going to make this one a very enjoyable session. Look at the introduction, and it's important to mention that the purpose or the objective of having a balanced diet is to enable one maintain proper health. To maintain proper health, we need diet, or we need food to be of the right quantity and of the right type of or kind. Yeah, and we need to understand that food, in balanced diet needs to have some variation, or we need to to blend in different aspects when you are formulating it. Yeah, we will be looking at age, we look at sex, we look at the type of work that this particular person does. So we have age here, look at sex, and look at the type of work here. Some of the factors that may determine the kind of the diet that we, or the composition that is going to make the diet that we are going to formulate. There is also the state of body, the physical condition. We shall look at that one in a moment. So that is just by introduction that we need the right types of food and in the right quantities, yeah, the right amounts, in order to consider a particular kind of food as a balanced diet. Um, what are how do we define in simple terms what a balanced diet is? Say that a balanced diet is one that contains all essential nutrients, in suitable proportions. Look at these words in bold. Balanced diet, and they're supposed to be, yeah, a balanced diet is supposed to be um, not really this one. A balanced diet is supposed to be one that contains all essential nutrients. Very important term. All essential nutrients. All the essential nutrients, not just one type of nutrient. And these are supposed to be in suitable proportion or amount, proportion and amount to provide necessary energy, very important when you are defining the term a balanced diet, and keeps the body in a healthy state, helps maintaining the body's health state, keeping the body fit, keeping the body in a position where all the organs, all the parts of the body are able to function in harmony, for a complete well-being of an individual. So let's look at some of I want us to talk about the qualities or the characteristics or the features of a balanced diet. What does a balanced diet need to have in order to be considered to be a balanced? You know, let's look at the first one. We have that the first characteristic that a balanced diet should be able to meet the nutrient requirement of the body, right? It should be able to meet the nutritional requirement of the body. The body is deficient in a particular type of nutrient, you know, balanced diet should be able to provide that particular nutrient. If it does not meet the body's nutrient requirement, or the nutrient does not provide the body with the required nutrient, then it ceases to be a balanced diet, right? We also have the second characteristic, or the second feature there. It's supposed to consist of different types of food, not just one type of food. So that, for example, we are talking about carbohydrates, we are supposed to be having proteins there. We are supposed to be having some fat in this particular food. And no, still we are insisting that all these types of foods should be in proper amounts or in the correct quantities. Yeah, just an example. So these are the first two characteristics of a balanced diet. What is the third characteristic of a balanced diet? We have that it should be able to provide adequate amount of energy. These three characteristics here, or these three features of a balanced diet, are what makes a particular meal or food to be considered as a balanced diet. Now I want us to look at the box here, some table which tries to show us some of the dietary requirements of various people according to age, sex, and different physical activities. Where is this table? Look at that table. These are the what we call the RDAs, or recommended dietary allowances per day, and the measurements here are given in grams. And we will consider, we talk about the type of the kind of the person. You're talking about adult man and you're talking about adult woman. Yeah, that is a cool. We are looking at the differences in sex. Yeah, and also we will be talking about age. We mentioned also age because adult means that they meet certain criteria for deciding that they are aged people. Then here we have children, we have boys and girls, and here we are also considering the ages. For children, we are considering children of ages 1 to 3 and those of 4 to 6 in general, regardless of whether they are boys or they are girls. Then for boys, we are looking at the ages of 10 to 12, and for girls, we are looking at the ages of 10 to 12 too. So we look at the various characteristics depending on the kind of work. We are looking at the physical activities. We have heavy work, we have moderate, we have sedentary levels of work, we have heavy work, we have moderate work, and we have sedentary work also for adult men, you know, the adult men. And we have the quantities there for the cereals, pulses, leafy vegetables, other vegetables, roots, tubers, milk, oil, fats, sugar, jaggery, fruits, and so forth. Yeah. So all these kinds of foods, we are given their amounts that are supposed to be taken per day. You know, look at that. All these foods, we are giving the amounts that are allowed to be taken in a day. Now let's talk about a balanced diet for special needs. We'll look at various special groups and the kind of the diet that they need, and some of the reasons why they need a particular or those types of diet. And we will start with looking at the nutritional needs for growing children. These are children who are developing. These are kids who are actively having their cells dividing, and there's a lot of development, there's a lot of you know cell specialization and differentiation happening in their bodies. Organs and tissues are forming, they are growing, you know the bones are becoming longer, and they're increasing in girth. Yes, important to remember that growing children need more food in proportion to their body weight. Remember, we say they are actively growing and their cells need a very big supply of energy. Yeah, they need a very big supply of energy so that so that they use it for growth. Yeah, they use it for growth. They use it for various functionalities of their body. Yeah, and let's look at the first need. You say they need extra protein to make new tissues for growth. Remember, proteins are bodybuilding foods, and therefore these proteins are in supposed to be very helpful in providing nutrients that are a building block for the actively growing children. We also need these nutrients. We also need calcium and phosphorus. We also need calcium and phosphorus for actively growing children. This is for the formation of bones and the red blood cells. The teeth are developing, and they also need calcium and phosphorus for the development of these structures. We also need vitamin A for development of healthy eyesight. For the development of healthy eyesight. Remember, vitamin A is very important for the development of the of sight. Very important part and parcel of the structure of the cells that help in vision. We also need vitamin C for general health of the child, and you also need vitamin D for healthy bones and a very healthy skin. Yeah, let's look at the second important or special group. Look at the nutritional or dietary needs for persons with different occupations or kinds of work, the kinds of jobs that they do. Yes, and remember, persons doing hard or physical work like masonry, rickshaw pullers, laborers, carpenters. These are groups of people that need a lot of energy supply because their bodies spend a lot of energy. Yeah, what are the kinds of the foods that they need? They need energy giving foods, and a lot of food that help in building. Then we have nutritional needs during pregnancy. We look at those mothers who are pregnant or they are lactating, they are breastfeeding their children. You understand that there are a lot of physiological activities happening in the bodies of pregnant mothers. Yeah, there is someone growing inside their bodies, and this person needs also to be cared for. So we have, remember, this person we said there is a developing embryo, there is another human being growing inside them. Yeah, maybe one or maybe even be two if we are talking about twin pregnancy. What are some of the nutrients that they in need of? Let's look at some of the nutrients that they need. I think we have extra protein for tissue growth. They need extra proteins for tissue growth for the actively growing tissues of the body, both for themselves and for their children, and for the growing embryo or the fetus. You also need more calcium and phosphorus for the formation of the bones of the baby, and even for the strength of the skeleton structure of the mother. Then you also need more iron for the development of the red blood cells, which would help in sufficient oxygen supply in the body and even the transport of nutrients through the body. We also need a lot of carbohydrates for a lot of energy. Yeah, remember, carbohydrates are energy supplying foods, and this will help in building in the bodybuilding processes, yeah, of the growing fetus, uh, the growing fetus in the body of the mother. Another or the fourth special group that we talk about the state of health. Those people, you look at the health condition of an individual as we design a balanced diet. Yeah, what should someone who is sick supposed to be having in their diet? Say the person is recovering from illness need more proteins, minerals, and vitamins in their diet to repair the damage caused by a sickness or ailment. Yeah, if there is loss of blood due to surgery or accident, there's a lot of bleeding that is happening, there's a lot of hemorrhaging, that means this person is losing a lot of iron, and therefore we need good iron supply for the formation of the red blood cells, or generally blood cells for the circulation of important body materials. So thank you. This is the end, and I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and I wish you a very good day outside there, right?